Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Circle of the World podcast, where we discuss Joe Abercrombie's First Law series. I am one of your hosts, Lord Chamberlain Jeffrey, and here are my co-hosts,
Archlector George.
Harrison, the Adeptus Historical.
We continue our coverage of Sharp Ends, the next entry in Joe's catalog, and for this episode, we read through Yesterday Near a Village Called Barden. So, let's get started. As usual, folks, you know we got to thank you for your support, your diligent support, the camaraderie you've extended to us. So beautiful in the light of this holiday season. Oh, God.
Yes, in this
And,
desert of lack of content, we are here.
Absolutely. The only people making first law content in the whole world.
Yeah, seriously, I think.
Consistently, at least.
On a consistent basis, yes. Yes.
And December was our best month since 2024. So yeah, everybody, it's been picking back up again. Everybody's listening, which is lovely.
That's right. We love it. We love it. Obviously, with our long-awaited return to Reddit, right? We pulled an A's. I am returned. So yeah, we want to again thank you for your support. We hope you had a happy holidays. You know, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Am I missing something else?
You're missing a lot, Jeffrey, but that's why people say happy holidays.
Well, I'm ignorant. Anyway, so...
No, sir, you're an American.
Nah, you goddamn right about that. So yeah, we just want to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed the blooper episode that was just released last week. George had put in a lot of hard work on that bad boy, and so we hope you appreciate it. We hope you hold no ill will towards any one of us for some of our more outlandish utterances, specifically me, apparently. But yeah, just wanted to say thank you, and we hope you enjoyed it. It was great.
Imagine the first law Discord, the other one. They're gonna be like, so Jeffrey's actually racist.
No, I'm not. God. Oh God. So we'll move on to our community interaction segment. Harrison, I know you mentioned you saw something about gifts.
Yeah, now that we're after Christmas, I noticed just a lot. There's been some gifts from family members that people have posted. So if you did get like a first law gift, you should post it on the Reddit and share it. There's some cool book covers, some versions of books, and some random things on there. So just looks like it was a good Christmas in the first law community. Is all I'm trying to say.
George, did you have anything to add to that?
Not for the gift stuff, but we did have a little comment here from Jose, who's our number one commenter on Spotify. And it's just a little theory there that the town and tavern in Some Desperado is the same as in Skipping Town.
Which one's Skipping Town?
Oh,
the one where Chev and Javra have that fight, and they're in the near country.
You know what?
Interesting.
I bet you're right. Because of course it would be abandoned. They fucked it up.
Yeah, they fucked it up so bad the whole town became a ghost town.
To be fair, too, like it's not a very big town, and they didn't mention how big it was before. The tavern could be the same tavern. There's nothing that would conflict. I love it whenever people bring up these little theories about these little moments instead of something grand. It's like, hey, I bet this is connected. So great point, Jose.
Speaking of comments, which thank you, Jose. We love you. We love you. You're the best. We saw, by the way, Jose, you need to get in this Discord we got going on. So hit us up. Hit us up on Instagram or Twitter or email. We got you. If you don't get on this, I'm very upset. I got to talk to you in real life. Well, via Discord. Speaking of comments and Discord, I did see a comment I wanted to bring up to you boys that I thought was actually pretty interesting. And it was by none other than Croca McGee. And he had said something right here. He goes, he's a few weeks behind in the podcast, but he just finished the one that covered the short story Hell. And he wonders, do the Cantics worship Eus as God? That never clicked with him before, but it makes sense.
Yeah, I think they do.
You think so? Do you think that Eus is God in this case?
Yes, because most of the not most, but a lot of the religion inside of the South, that's why they call Kalu the prophet. Kalu doesn't claim to be the god himself,
No, of course.
and so it could be Juvens that they're referring to, but I don't think that's right. I think it's probably everybody knows who Eus is in the first law, and even the Union does. They just don't think he actually existed as they say or whatever. Whereas the Cantics tend to believe that yes, the story is true. Eus made the world, all this stuff, and depending on where you're at, the lore kind of changes. But yeah, I mean, Eus is the only figure that could be that, other than maybe Juvens. But Juvens was in the Old Empire and was definitely killable. So
definitely killable. Well, but they could also be referring to a third, like a.
They could be, but knowing how the first law works, I mean, he leaves it ambiguous on purpose. But
He does.
would we really want it to be anything else? I mean, you could assume it could be just some random god, but why wouldn't it be Eus? They all have different names for him, probably. You know what I mean? They may say, "Oh, the god of blah 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 blah," and somebody's, "You mean Eus? Well, that's your name for him." It's kind of the same thing.
It's true.
I do think that characters in the Age of Mandus especially start to refer to Eus more as sort of like a godlike figure anyway. I think it just tends that way, doesn't it? Some characters would be like, they just reference him as sort of like that kind of character.
Yeah, like it's not like Eus himself is going to come back. They say things like that.
Wink, wink.
And so I think that it is supposed to be on the whole kind of reference to Eus, and maybe whenever Joe got to the Age of Madness, he kind of reinforced that because maybe he wasn't thinking about that at first, but then later on he did have it set. But I do notice, I think it's deliberate because they have these faiths and everything in the South, and Khalul is known as the prophet. What is he prophesizing about and for? It's not just about eating people or something. No, he has a religion based around, the history and what happened before and a god. Yes, it's obviously to try to manipulate, but maybe not as much as we think. We know from the beginning that Khalul was telling the truth to some degree compared to bias. So just because the religion is being used for bad doesn't mean it's also not true in the historical sense.
Interesting. Yeah, like the weaponization, right, of faith.
Yeah.
Khalul, look at you.
We need a book in Canton.
Yeah, we do. Joe, come on, get on it. Don't be so afraid. I know what you're afraid of. It's fine.
It's fine. You may confuse the Bantu people of Asian Africa with the Bantu
God
people of Star
damn
Wars.
it! I'm not gonna
No one's gonna care. No one's gonna care about it, Joe. Don't worry.
Not gonna let me live that down, you son of a bitch. Simple mistake. God.
Anyways,
whatever.
I always figured it was Eus, yes, but it'd be interesting if it was something else.
Yeah, I didn't really think it was Eus because to me Eus was just like the first I guess you could say like all powerful magical being of the first law world, right?
Yeah, but he shaped the world, didn't he?
He didn't create the world.
He didn't create it, but he shaped it to what it is today.
No, he's like, demons, you get the other side. People, you get the world, kind of thing.
Yeah, like, but it says
closed the gate.
It broke up. It shaped our world as we know it because of the amount of magic that was flying out.
Yeah, but then also like Baez and when talking about Eus, he's like the first full devil blood.
He's half.
No, Eus is the first full.
No, Eus is half.
No, Eus is half. Yeah.
And
Eus is half.
Yeah, all of his sons are quarter. Ptolemy's only an eighth. Well, as far as we know.
Hold the fuck up, because I could have sworn he was like full, and that
he was the first. He was the first person to have mastery on it of his abilities and whatever. We don't know a lot of stuff, but we do know he's half.
Oh, half human, half demon. You're right, but hold on then. Then he can't be. Well, I mean, he's being worshipped as God, but he's not God in the first.
Right. Yeah. But the thing is, though, I think you're coming kind of from a Western mindset of, if
maybe
they say God, they must mean some all-powerful being.
Right.
It's not necessarily true. It could just be meaning God, as in my faith is the God.
Right. That's what. Yeah. That's what I'm. Yeah. I'm figuring out the delineation there. Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. Interesting thought process, though. Thank you, Croker. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so we'll just go ahead and get started. Well, first, actually, no, we'll do our best meme of the week. So, Georgie boy, that's you. Take it away.
So this week we have it's just a cross post over from the Armor subreddit, which I've now subscribed to because I didn't know that was a thing. But now there's lots of armor on my phone, which is cool. It's just a picture of a Roman fighting like a Celtic Briton, and it's like, why did the Celtic Brits like fight naked when the Romans introduced the armor to them? And somebody's cross posted over, and we're in a Bly versus Bremerton Course, the Second Northern War colorized.
That's amazing.
And that's last with a 4v1 on Reddit, which is that's a good one. It's imaginative.
Love it. Appreciate you, cross-pollinating across subreddits. Appreciate it. Thanks.
I do like some of these comments as well. It says, "Oh, we're in a Bly and a lot of Celtic Brits." This is not the day I die," said Wirren on the day he died.
That's a good one.
So yeah, thank you very much for that last V1 on Reddit. That's good.
Said we're in the day. That was Hot Read 9435. Thank you for that one. Oh, Ant Man Thing says that is Food Network's Guy Fieri. And apparently there's a dead like goblin at the ground, and somebody goes, he goes, "Are we not talking about the dead goblin? I think that introduces a lot more interesting questions." And then Joe Voix says, "That's a Shanka." Oh,
maybe just one step above a Shanka.
Here we go. Oh. Well, thank you for that, George. Who was that again?
Last V1.
Last V1. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate it. Great work. And so now we will go right into our chapter read through for this episode, which again is yesterday near a village called Barden, and it's near Barden in autumn of 584. Harrison, you want to set us up here for this one?
Yeah, they actually mention this little exchange that's about to happen in the beginning of the hero. So I think that Joe maybe thought about starting with this kind of section, and then he had some ideas, and then cut it later on maybe, and that's why he made this a short story, because it didn't flow well with the book. But yeah, they mentioned Gor's heroic deeds in the village and all of that. So I think the Barden is where the heroes picks up. So this is literally picking up. If you wanted to read the entire story chronologically, you would read this right before the heroes. And it's basically the village of Barden is literally just like a normal northern village. It's got probably 3 or 4 buildings and then farmland around it. There's not much else to it than that. Yeah.
Yeah, so we start off from the POV of a man named Tinder, which is like, ooh, swipe. And he is standing in the doorway of this. What? And so Barden we're in the north, all right? So they have very, straightforward names, I guess we could say. They don't even have names. What they have are object as names. That's what that's the fuck. And so Tinder has a house. He's standing in his doorway and watching the Union ruin his crop. Our boy is a farmer, growing barley, has a family, has daughters, right? Does he still have a wife?
He has a daughter and he has a son, and his wife does not appear to be in the picture now.
Gotcha. So he's one of these people that haven't been pressed into service for Black Dow, because at this time my beautiful prince is still alive, and and he is just obviously just watching the Union Army come across his land. First the scouts had came, and then soldiers, then the wagons, the supply train, and everything like that. And I
like his his disposition towards the situation, because at first you're just kind of like, oh, he's just some guy who's kind of upset that they're ruining his crop, which sure, fair enough, but he doesn't seem actually mad at that. He's super like scared because his daughter comes up to the door and she's like, are they gone yet? And he's like, get the fuck back. He says he was on the march down with Bethod through England, and he did some horrible things, implying he did some very bad things, seeing as his reaction to keeping his daughter away from the doors because he knows what men can be. And I really like how Joe's very classy when it comes to those situations, but I always like the fact that you always feel that moment. And so him having this like utter horror at like people looking this way and seeing his daughter is like, I think it is perceived very well by the audience that he is super worried about it because he's done some things himself. Interestingly, though, is he seems to be like kind of he's not the same person. Like he's actually changed. He actually did retire from the military. He must have been a thrall of some kind, I think, probably. And he probably owned this village owned this little farmland beforehand with his wife. And but you know what? He actually did change. So respect to him there. He actually got retired, came home to his family, just doing his best to live an honest life.
Yeah, and he, even when his son Cowan comes around the side of the house to bring in a pail of milk or whatever, he snaps at him. He goes, I told you to keep out of sight, et cetera, et cetera. He goes, we have something to hide. Do you want him to take the goat as well? And Cowan, he hangs his head, like he looks down, like he's all like sad that the goat isn't giving much. And then Tinder feels guilty. He goes, and he like reaches out, he ruffles his son's hair, and he goes, you know what? No one's giving much right now. It's a war on. Just keep low and move quick. And so this is a guy that he just cares for his family, and he's worried because, like you said, Harrison, he's been on the other side, and he knew that now it just, all it takes is like some kind of miscommunication, some kind of misunderstanding of a situation, and the Union are just gonna barrel his shit through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so Tinder looks outside again after, his kids are back inside, and he sees a Union man walking up to the house and a big man with too little neck and too much armor. He goes, this man's got not a good feeling about this guy. And he grabs a hatchet from a table and he has it like to the side of his body. He's just like hiding it while he waits for this guy to come up. And this man comes up and he goes, hello, in Northern. And Tinder was like, what the fuck? I've never heard such a strange high little voice on a man. And he goes, hi, what's going on? And he goes, hey, my name is Gorst. I'm not going to do the voice. I can't. My fucking voice is going to die. He goes, my name is Gorst. And he goes, did I see your son with milk? And, Tinder goes, this man might be, he's trying to see what he could get. And he goes, a little bit. He goes, can I trouble you for some? And he gives, he brings out his own wooden cup from his satchel. He goes, oh, okay. And he goes, all right. So he picked up the bucket and he gave him some, just a couple, I guess, Gorst dipped his cup in. And he goes, oh, thank you for that. Appreciate it. He asked him about the name of this village, tells him it's Barden. He goes, all right, well, thank you for letting me know. And then that's pretty much it. He just walks away. And then he sits on like a stone, right? And Tinder can see him kind of just basically take some stuff out of his satchel, which is basically a pen and some papers. And he starts writing. And he goes, he's a writer. And I think we know what Gorst is writing here, right?
I think it's he's actually writing like the first letter inside of or he's going to start to write that first letter that we first read inside of the Heroes.
It's that first one, right?
Yep. Because he even mentions, I think, inside that letter, yesterday in a village named Barden.
Barden.
That's such an obscure reference. Oh, if any of you audience remember that one, you're the goat. You're a goat.
The OGs. You're my man. Yes. So he's just watching the Union ruin his crop while, just also watching Gorse write. And then somebody comes up to Colonel Bremmerdam Gorse and is like, Colonel Gorse. He's like, hello, yes. And he goes, I'm Lieutenant Kans. I was on the same ship as you coming over. The Indomitable, the Invincible, the something. Anyway.
I love that reference.
Go ahead.
The ship name reference of being like, I don't know, the Indomitable, the Invincible, something with something with an I, something, Yeah. I don't know, George. You understand some. I mean, your culture is obviously steeped in ship warfare, so
in the nautical.
In the nautical sphere.
Yes,
I'm landlocked. Okay?
Yeah, you're landlocked.
We British are born knowing how to tack.
Give me a cannon, mummy.
Hoist the sails, father. So, George, you want to talk about the ship or the ship that we got like 2 words out of?
No, it's just a fucking barge, isn't it? They get on the barge and they're going up, right?
Basically, what Lieutenant Kern's whole deal is, he seems to be a fanboy of Gorst.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, he says he saw him training more than once on the deck and goes, it's quite a spectacle. We spoke a little bit at one point, I guess. And it was like a bland conversation that Gorst, I'll tell you right now, does not remember.
Nor did he care.
Yeah, he goes, yeah, and he goes, well, I'm in charge of the guards on this section of the supply column. I and Lieutenant Pendle are in charge of them, and I saw you here writing, and I thought I might reintroduce myself. I say, is that a letter to the king? Gorst is like, yes, it is. And he goes, well, His Majesty, and reading those very words along with his breakfast or possibly his lunch. Can't imagine what His Majesty has for lunch. And then Gorst goes, it varies. So
that's such a fucking silly, weird thing. Of course, it varies.
This guy is like nervous.
Doesn't have the same thing for breakfast every day.
Yeah.
How dare you, sir?
And then Kearns basically just wants to borrow a piece of paper from Gorst so he could write a letter of his own to his family. So his wife and his their first child was born before he left. And he's like, oh yeah, he's a beautiful son. Even though from what Kearns could remember, he had thought his son remarkably ugly, fat, and prone to screaming. But fathers always said their children are beautiful.
Yeah, everyone says that. Babies are ugly, man.
Yeah.
And they are. I will say you do get weirdly like they don't seem as ugly, but they are still ugly. But I think it's funny, like he says it again, like he's convincing himself. He doesn't say that in the actual. He actually says that, but he doesn't have like a monologue in his head saying, like I feel like I'm trying to convince myself. He just says, "Beautiful baby boy, a beautiful boy."
Anyway, if I could just borrow a piece of paper. And Gorst, he gives him one. And he goes, great, thank you so much. I'll make sure I replace it. Gorst is like, forget it. And then he just goes back to his letter. And Kearns is like, yes, of course. Alrighty. And so then we switch over to the POV of Lieutenant Pendle, or as George would like to say, Lieutenant Pendle, even though there's no F in Lieutenant. And Lieutenant Pendle is Kearns' counterpart in terms of managing the supply chain, right? This part of the supply chain, right? And this guy seems to be a pretty is he kind of just like a angry guy?
Yeah, he's very he's just very grumpy man. It's funny because I think these two are meant to be like, they sort of bounce off each other a little bit. One's extremely grumpy and like a seasoned soldier. The other one's like brand new and he's naive, and I like that. It's a good little dynamic.
Yeah, and so basically what Pendle's going to do, he has a shovel and he's going off, and Kearns is like, where are you going? And he goes, what do you think I'm doing? I'm going to dig a tunnel back to Adwa, which is funny. And then Kearns is like, you sure I should be going over there? What if? And he goes, you can manage it without me for a minute, I'm sure. And then basically he's gonna go take a shit. And so back in over there, you go off somewhere, find a spot in the woods, you dig a little spot, and you just take a shit, and you just bury it. Right? That's basically what you're gonna do. Because Currents is like, what if the Northmen are near there? And he goes, then I'll shit on them, and he just leaves Currents. And he has like some points about like Felnig's behavior, right? What was it?
No, it's great.
Stickler for the rules.
Yes, because it's great because nobody likes Felnick. Felnick's like, why doesn't no one like me? I'm one of the greatest officers in the whole army. If only I hadn't had those added to keep those women and children safe.
Yeah, it is. It's funny to see that everyone, in fact, does hate Felnick. Like, it's universal. He's just a piece of shit.
Just one of those annoying people. And then we switch on over to Pale as Snow. Pale as Snow, you guys remember him? Is Northman, one of Bethod's right hand man,
one of his war men,
one of his war chiefs, and then also one of I guess you could say Calder Scales right hand men, right?
Yeah, he stayed loyal.
Yeah, and so him and I guess he has like how many people would you say he has?
I think he's got Scales' whole little group, or pretty close. I would assume he's got at least probably like 500 guys there or something. I mean, he's got half their little group. It's got to be right.
Okay, and so, or at least at the very least, his band of warriors, right, compared to White Eye and everything.
Yes.
Go ahead, George. I'm sorry.
I love his like little inner monologue to himself. He's like, "This is going to be a good raid. It's going to be great. It's going to be a peach. And then I'm going to get back, and Scales going to clap me on the back and say, "Well done."
He's going to say, "My man,
my man." It's so silly because obviously Pale as Snow comes across as like quite stoic on the outside. He doesn't really say much, and I like the fact that he's got this whole like insecure and a monologue going on. I think that's so funny.
I love it too because he's like, Scales a man you could follow when he didn't speak.
He's a man you can respect when he doesn't open his mouth. But basically, Pale Snow has a band of warriors. They're scouting the supply chain, and they're gonna raid it. Right, that's the idea. He has, some men here. Rip Jack? I think is his second. Some other people. So they basically are crawling through the undergrowth. They see the supply chain, or at least this area. So they're close to Gorst, Kearns, Pendle, and Tinder. Right, near the village of Barden. And
hey, just FYI, audience, everything is near the village of Barden in this episode.
Yeah, everything is. And so basically we see that they see that Lieutenant Pendle is walking up to them, and they're like, "Oh fuck," because they're like, "Oh, he's about to give away our position." And then he's about 4 strides away, digs his tunnel, digs the shovel a little bit, and then turns around and squats. And he's letting one loose, boys. And then Pale Snow's like, okay, so he's not walking. And then he looks at Ripjack and he points at him, and he does the thing, like the thumb across the neck. And then Ripjack points at himself, and then the Pale Snow's like, yeah, he grins. He's not, damn it, me. Fine, fuck. So then Ripjack, he crawls over there. He's about to, he's about to kill a man while he's taking a shit, which I feel like, didn't somebody in the First Law story once say like that's a terrible way to go out?
Yeah, I feel that feels familiar.
It does feel familiar. Like
it's very true, Abercrombie.
It had to been during the original trilogy, I think, or no, maybe it was in the Heroes.
Yeah, I think something similar happens. Maybe. Oh no, it's the guy that's having. What's his face? Fucking Worth gets shot, doesn't he, while he's having a shit?
No, he just dies from dysentery.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't get shot while he's having a shit.
Yeah,
he does. Yeah, you're right. He gets killed by his own, like a guard.
That's what makes it even funnier. Is the fact that he gets killed whenever. I mean, not funnier.
You're right. I thought he died of dysentery. No, I was like, well, he was on his way.
I think you were thinking about a leather liquor,
No, leather liquor dies from shadow.
Deep and shallow. Yeah.
Deep and shallow. Lick a lot. Lick spittle. So.
Spittle.
So basically, Pendle, we back to Pendle's POV. He's finishing up his poop, and then somehow he gets stung on his ass by like a bramble or something, right? A nettle, I'm sorry, whatever a nettle is. And he goes, fucking, what was it?
Nasty, that. Getting stung on the ass.
Oh, man. He goes, bloody North, shit, this fucking country, god damn it. And he's like turning around, and as he turns around, he sees no more than a couple strides away, a man was kneeling in the brush staring at him, a Northman with a knife in his hand. Not a big knife, no more than average size, but certainly big enough.
Certainly big enough.
And I like how they stare at each other for what's a very long moment. Pendle squatting with his trousers around his ankles, and the Northman squatting with the trousers up, but jaw down. And he goes, oh shit. And so then they move at the same time. Northman, springs up at him, and Pendle just swings his shovel at him, catches him in the side of the head, and he starts running, pulling his trousers up and screaming while like an arrow's being shot after him. And he goes, oh fuck, while, death breathing down on his bare ass.
He also is, he's like one of those officers who are like, he's like, dude, is this like his job, right? He's not bought in. Like nobody likes him. Like he's not good at his job. He kind of just sucks. Like he must be from all the officers are, right, from a noble family, right? But it's just kind of funny. He like just complains even though he doesn't do anything. He just sucks.
Yeah. He doesn't do anything. You're right. And so then we switch over to the POV of Kearns again, who is starting to write this letter. And it starts off with, my darling wife, Celine. I was Celine.
It sounded like Prince Charles, King Charles. Sorry, my bad, sir. Don't kill me.
I was overjoyed to receive your letter and the news of our son, though it took 3 weeks to reach me. Damn army post, Glad to hear your mother is better. I wanted to tell you, and then he stops because he's thinking about what he want to tell her. Like, he doesn't know. He wants to tell her something, but he doesn't know what. All right, it's one of those issues where I guess back in the day, men at war, men away from their families, doing god-awful things. What can he say, right?
It's kind of sad that he doesn't just like, oh, I miss you and I love you and that. He's just like, oh, what do I say now?
I think Kearns is the product. Like he is, he's the frat guy, right? I know I use that term a lot. Like he's like the standard college bloke. He did this stuff. He got married. He has a child. He follows the rules. Doesn't think too much about it. But he has the potential to. And if only he could survive some catastrophic thing or have some deep revelation, maybe he would have some like value to his own life and society. But he just hasn't unlocked it yet. Like he's right there. And I think that's what makes it kind of sad. It's like you could just say, I love you, I live for you. He obviously does love his wife and son. He didn't say he didn't love him. He just said that he was ugly, which is very relatable. And he obviously does miss his wife. He's trying to be a good soldier. He's trying to network by talking to Gorst. So I think he has a bright future ahead of him.
I especially love the comment where he says there should be some secret of his innermost self, but he wasn't sure that he had an innermost self. Like, he knows how shallow he is.
It's so relatable.
That is true. And so as he's thinking about what to write to his wife, he looks over at Colonel Gorst and maybe to find some inspiration, right? But he sees that Gorst is not even looking at his letter that he's writing. He's looking off towards the woods with an intense look on his face.
He's smoldering.
Smoldering. I like that. And Kearns thought he heard like a faint cry with a note of panic, and then it came again louder, and Gorst got to his feet, spilling the milk and everything. And Kearns is looking at the trees, and his mouth is dropping open because Pendle is there running back towards them through the crops, trying to run and hold his open trousers up and shout all at the same time. And he says one audible word, Northman! And so then there's an arrow that shoots behind him, and so Kern's like, "Holy shit!" It's getting it's getting down, and then Gorse is already rushing forwards, drawing his swords to meet the Northmen. And so here we get basically an instance of Kern's getting ready. He's just like, oh, he's got to grab his sword. I don't even think, does he have time to like don his armor?
I think they're already. He's looking for his helmet, isn't he? And he's it's just in disarray.
The good news is he doesn't really need his helmet. I think
Yeah, definitely won't need that.
No. And so then he sees a bunch of Norman are pouring through the trees. Gorse is running to meet them. Kearns, at some point, he goes, "With me!" And I don't know, we don't know who he's yelling to or to anybody.
He doesn't know either.
Yeah, some soldiers nearby, hopefully. And so he starts, he goes, fuck it. He starts running towards the line with Gorse, where Gorse is. And Gorse is already fighting at least 2 Northmen, right? Just swinging around. And that he just saw 2 men killed before his eyes because Gorse is just that much of a savage of a fighter. And then he goes, here's definitely action, because he's been waiting for action for quite some time, he had said. And he's going to be able to stand alongside Colonel Gorse, the man who had been the king's first guard, to be smilingly acknowledged by him after the engagement, to be clapped on the shoulder and greeted as a brother. It was everything Kearns had dreamed of when he first tried on that uniform. 3 more Northmen were jumping through the crops towards Gorse now, and Kearns hurried up to his side, raising his sword. "Colonel Gorse!" And he saw a flash of movement at the corner of his eye, jerked his head away on instinct, and Gorse felt his long steel crunch into something at the very end of his swing, twisting the grip in his fist as the Northman before him toppled back. But he had no time to think on it. He has other business. So that doesn't necessarily bode.
Yeah, Gorse does this a lot. He just accidentally kills his own dudes. Like,
yeah.
He doesn't even give a shit.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And so we are back in the perspective of Gorse, which we haven't been since the Heroes. And do you guys want to chime in here?
I mean, he just does very Gorse things.
Mm-hmm.
He's just being how he is in the Heroes.
Yeah, absolute badass. And the whole, murdering your own guys thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, obviously, after this little fight, then he notices that the Northmen are behind the lines and they're fucking around with the horses.
Yeah, that's right.
Not the horses.
The horses. Not that he really gives a damn about the horses or anything else. This man, he's pretty much, remember, folks, we're seeing him at the, I guess we could say at his lowest point here, right? That he's been at for quite some time, ever since he got booted from the king's first guard. So he's just angry at the world, hateful of the world. He's himself.
I could definitely see where he's a little bit more honest with himself in this part, which I think Joe probably changed, whenever he very first started thinking about this section. Just a little bit, but
think so?
we wouldn't have seen him kill somebody right off the bat, I don't think.
Well, he was going after the Northmen immediately. Then that was his whole thing. Remember, even in the beginning of the Heroes, they're like, "Hey, you're jumping into the fray too much. You're just supposed to be the observer."
I know. I meant the
Kearns thing.
Yeah, that he's.
but he killed Kearns by accident because he was swinging at a Northman, and on the backswing he killed Kearns.
Oh, he killed him by accident.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, that's what.
No, I'm just kidding. I know he killed him by accident, Chip. I just meant. I mean, come on. I'm not letting him off the hook for that one.
I'm not. No, you should be aware of his surroundings. And should pay attention when someone calls his fucking name and is right next to him. But
it's a goddamn soldier.
This is a psychopath. That's what he is. So
I mean, I really don't think he says anything
of note
different here. Honestly, I mean, George, what do you think? I don't think he really says anything.
No, it's just your standard Gorse stuff, isn't it? Killing. Here I go, killing again.
He's like, I guess he's like, oh, poor me. I don't know. He's just
I do like the like a bit more of an exploration into like his like insecurities, because he talks about his father and how like he was just constantly disappointed in him and he making fun of his voice and all that. It's like, yeah, of course there's daddy issues.
Of course has daddy issues.
He does have daddy issues.
He does.
That's true.
He has a lot of issues. I bet he has mommy issues too.
I think he only mentions it like maybe once inside the Heroes, his dad having a problem with him, but him.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
It would explain a lot why he is, he's always trying to prove himself while also pretending like he doesn't care.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's pretending that the men he's killing are his dad.
Yeah. He simultaneously is like relatable for being like, oh, I'm not going to be like my dad, but like he's probably more like him.
Then he, want to be, Well, so like I said, we said nothing much happens with Gore's perspective, at least, because then we switch over to Wrong Side, who's a Northman, and he's a Northman who has never actually killed a man, which is weird for a thrall that's been 6 years in the war business.
It actually doesn't make that much. It actually doesn't make that that little sense if you think about it.
You said it doesn't make. Oh, what I was gonna say, it's odd for someone like a thrall to be taking pride in, as he says.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, because like it's like the thing with war is like the majority of casualties are really like starvation, illness, and
on top of all that too, like how many men actually end up fighting in the battle? You know what I mean? Actually killing each other. And most of it's more morale stuff, especially with the Northmen. They had 2 big battles where they just morale shocked and lost hardly anybody, and then they had a bigger battle against the Union in front of Dumbreck, which is probably the most they actually fought. And then they had the battle in the high places, which was kind of just an ambush. So I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. And it's interesting for him because like, he never killed a man, even though he had opportunities, especially like when he had an arrow knocked on somebody. But then he thinks back to like his mother's face and he goes, I can't do it. He didn't want to let his mother down. So he was proud to say he never killed a man. Even though he's only saying it to himself. But then, Pale Snow had said kill the horses, though. And when his chief said a thing, Wrong Side tried to do it. So funny. So I guess they're like Gorse pointed out, the Northmen are messing with the horses. And some men are obviously mounting them with the saddles and everything, trying to charge. And Wrong Side, I don't even want to talk about this because I don't like when horses get hurt, even fictional horses. So George Harrison, you want to take over here?
Yeah, it's pretty gruesome. I think this is one of the most gruesome things to read in these books. It's just like it's stabbing these poor defenseless horses, and they're trying to get away and screaming, and it's just like.
Yeah, I would say out of all the times that the Northmen do stuff, this is the time I'm like, come on, bro, are you serious? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Anyways,
does this tie into the Tunney's company not having their horses because they got murdered?
It's a great point.
My god!
I think you're right, actually. Though, to be honest, I bet you're right. That's crazy.
Holy shit! You might be right. What the fuck? Well, I'm just
Wild.
So I'm gonna just skip this tragic scene of horse murder, horse genocide, I might say. And we'll just get to the part where free the cavalry.
I like how all this stuff we talk about, like we talk about this dark shit. We're like all this race stuff, just these horrible things that happen to people, murder, and then we hear horses. We're like, Joe, you've crossed the line.
You've gone too far.
Cross the line in my book. God damn it.
Human deaths only.
Man. So basically, he actually comes across Pendle, even though he doesn't realize it, but because he comes across a strange Union man with like a buckle in one hand and trying to grab his trousers in the other, and they both come across, and then they both realize that like, oh man, we don't really want to do any killing, so they kind of just like silently agree to just back off, and they step away from each other. And Wrong Side turns around, runs through couple wagons.
White side.
That's a white side. What the fuck? Wrong side. White as snow, pale as snow, white-eyed answer.
White.
God damn it! Oh fucking.
White-eyed, not fingered.
Oh, and then he sees another Northman by the name of Racket. Racket gets cut down. He goes, "Oh fuck that!"
Right.
And he's like, "Fuck this, I'm out of here."
He always caught such a racket. That's probably how he got his name.
Yeah, and so he decides basically that he's running back to the woods, right, along with the rest of the Northmen who are kind of retreating at this point. All right, they did their thing, they did a little bit of a raid, and now they're running back. And so we switch over to Pale Snow's perspective, where the first thing he goes is like, "So much for a peach of a raid."
He's so upset about it, dude.
Yeah, he goes, this wasn't this isn't great. He used to be a great man, one of Bethod's 4 war chiefs. He led the storming party at Ufrith. He shattered the Union line in the mist near Cumnor. He'd been a man that everyone had to respect, or at least show respect to, and keep their contrary opinions to themselves. Hard to believe now. Well, back to camp, and another Scales bloody rages. He's like, "Fuck this, guys. Sound the horn. We'll do no more good today." And so then they, did the signal, sound the horn, and they're doing, they're running away now, or like they're beating a hasty retreat. But one day he would mount that perfect raid.
Like, that's his goal. It's so simple. Yeah. Fair enough, bro. Fair enough.
Fair enough. And then we switch back over to Pendle's POV, and he hears the horn, and he's peeking out from behind the wheel that of the wagon he's hiding by, and he sees that the Northmen are, they're retreating, and he knows that like now more Union men would be kind of like coming from like wherever up the line to reinforce, just because they're gonna be too late anyway because the Northmen are retreating. And so what he does, he looks around, makes sure that no one's looking at him, pulls his trousers up once more, even though the buckle is broken, and then he waves a stolen sword towards the woods. Towards Northman. He's like, "Come back, you bastards. I'll show you a fight. Get back here, damn you." And then now when there are plenty of people looking at him, he's like, "Cowards!"
You got to put on a show.
You got to put on a show. And then we switch back over to Gorse's perspective, and he hears that someone is shouting, but we know it's Pendle, but he's not listening. He's too busy looking down one of the corpses. A young Union officer with a split head, one half of the face beyond recognition, the other blood-spotted, wearing the tongue-out leer of a man who had just made a revoltingly lewd suggestion. And Gorse is like, what did he say his name was? He said something, but I was not listening. Married, something about a child. Burns, Ferns, fuck. And he goes, what difference does it really make anyway? Would he be any less dead if it had been a northern sword that split his head? Because he's thinking, I think it might have been mine. And we kind of think it is Gorse. Yeah, it was Gorse.
Yeah.
On the back.
Congratulations, Gorse. You figured it out. You investigator, you.
Yeah, and so then he's like, should I not be choked with guilt, the little fatherless boy, the penniless widow, the family all clustered around to hear happy news from the front, then weeping over the letter, howling and beating their breasts? Verns, Perns, Smurns will never come back for the winter festival.
Which does imply that they have a winter festival.
It's Christmas over there, baby boys. Oh, the return of Aeus, or the rebirth of Aeus, or whatever the fuck.
Whatever the fuck.
And then he sees that he's looking at a Union officer, belt hanging undone and trousers sagging, brandishing one bloody fist. He goes, "What the fuck?" And then he looks over at the house, and he makes his way over there. And now we switch back over to Tinder's perspective, and it looks like the fight is over. You can't really tell who'd won, but he goes, shit. He sees that the big Union man is coming back towards his house. The one with the silly voice, the one called Gorse. And he grabs his hatchet again because he goes, a thing like this can turn men mean, right? So he's not sure, even though Gorse was polite and asking for a cup of milk, he doesn't know what Gorse's intentions are, right? Some men get their blood get up and everything, what they get up to. So then he tells his daughter, he goes, you go get by the back door, get ready to open it. If you hear him shout, run, then you run. All right, just run over to old Nairn's house, and I'll join up with you later. And then she gets scared. She goes, will you? And he goes, of course I will. I said it. Just don't cry. You got Cowan looking to you. And he's like, oh, Jesus. And he's he feels tears coming too. And he goes, look, just go. Go to the back of the door. And so then the door flings open.
Which I think it's just, he says he doesn't want to let go, and he doesn't let go either. He doesn't want to send them off. It's so sad.
Yeah, I know.
He thinks that this is the end because I would. Look at this guy coming in here.
Yeah, and so Gorse just opens the fucking door, which is like, hello, manners.
Hello.
The fuck? And so now, Riam and Cowan are right behind the Tinder, and there's a long silence, and because Gorse has spots of blood on him and everything, and then Gorse asks him like, "Are you all right?" And Tinder goes, "Yeah, we're fine." And then Gorse goes, "I'm very sorry about this." And Tinder goes, "About what?" Gorse goes, "Everything." And then he reaches out because he's about to take a step back and leave, but Gorse reaches out and he puts something on the corner of the table. He says, "For the milk," and then he leaves. And then I guess it's a coin of silver. And Tinder's like, "Holy fuck! Okay, we're gonna be okay, I think." And he almost couldn't stop himself from crying, right? And then he goes, "All right, just get back in the back, just stay out of sight." And then he looks out the front door and he sees that Gorse is walking away, head down, trying to wipe his sword clean with a rag much too small for the task. And then beyond it looks like they've already started digging graves, digging them right in the middle of Tinder's field, and ripping up what was left of his barley doing it. So, yeah, Tinder set his axe gently down on the table, shook his head and spat. Then he stood in his doorway and watched the Union ruin his crop. Which, gotta love this from Joe, the circular aspect of his writing. And that's the end of that chapter. Boys, how do you rate it?
You want to go first, Harrison?
I actually like it a lot. You get some action. We get some previous characters, some lore. The characters who are introduced. I don't like Pendle, but I like the other one. I think I'm going to give it a 7 and a knuckle.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for a 7 as well. I like this chapter. It's funny. It shows all of the union's usual incompetencies, which is always good to see. I like to see some perspectives of characters that we haven't before, like Pale of Snow, especially. I think he's a very funny guy. Just constantly thinking about that perfect raid.
Yeah, honestly, I like it a lot. I'll give it a 7 as well. Fuck it, do a trifecta. Is it a trifecta?
Harrison said 7.5.
Yeah,
7.5. Oh, I'm giving it a 7. Sorry. I really enjoy this chapter too. We don't know Tinder at all. Just met him for the one time here, and it tugged the heartstrings, especially the interactions with his kids. It's like, oh, damn it. Joe's great character work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Always.
We get a flat, a Gorse appearance. We get that. We get a Pale of Snow appearance, which is nice. And then we get the classic Joe humor, just the absurdity of these situations a lot of the times. And we get some action, like you said. And we get some sadness. So I enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, 7 for me. But we shall move on to our final segment, which is our character spot. Boys, who else are we gonna highlight? But
we're doing Kearns, right?
Yeah.
Kearns, Burns, Smurns,
Burns, learns, yearns.
Yeah, another one of those people that just gets caught up in Gorse's antics. It's very sad that this guy is obviously, like you said, Harrison, he's sort of just going through the motions in life. He become an officer and he can have kids and whatnot, but he doesn't really seem to have direction in his life, and it is cut short by carelessness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do actually like Tinder more, though.
You like Tinder more? I mean, yeah, I think I do too. But we feel bad for Kearns, though. We feel bad for Kearns. Guy just had he has a newborn baby, right? A wife that he loves, and his what?
Ugly baby.
Ugly. That's a good point. Never mind. Fuck that
But
guy.
you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna put somebody on blast right now. Harrison was like, "Oh, it's relatable." So that means when Theo was born, Harrison thought his baby was ugly as shit. That's fucked up, Harrison.
Most babies are very ugly, including my own. My son was a pretty good looking baby though, compared to mine.
You said was, not is. Wow.
The I just like that Tinder is so like it's easy to push aside, but the fact that he's a Northman who came back home from war, settled down, did his thing, and is just trying to work the best he can at his life, and is not being like, oh, my life sucks. You know, like, I guess carpentry wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. You know, he's just doing his thing, protecting his family. Presumably the wife died at some point. He's a single father. I don't know. He's actually, bro has made it in terms of the North. And with that money he got from Gorse there at the end, he's going to be all right. He's going to be all right.
Because they don't get money like that.
No. That's enough for him to replace everything he lost.
Yeah. I mean, with Kearns, it's like his fatal mistake really was just not knowing Gorst well enough.
He tried to get to know Gorst.
Yeah. Tried to get to know him. Gorst didn't let him. Well, didn't really say much. And his idea was like, I'm going to back up Gorst. And he pays for it with his life. And it's just like, dude, if only you just knew. If you only just like witnessed him in battle and just see how he's like, just doesn't give a shit, I would have been like, I'm not going near him at all. So, damn.
He has the monologue with Kearns instead of Fenry at the end. He's like, don't you understand? Fern, I love war. I don't love you. You fool. I almost killed you the other day, and you didn't even notice. I would have not even cared. And he'd be like, but I love you, Gordon.
You're my hero.
You're my hero, cool. I would have been honored to have accidentally stabbed in the face by your saber, sir.
Oh my god. Oh, poor Lieutenant Kearns. Earns.
We barely knew you.
We barely knew you. We really barely knew you. Oh, poor guy. Well, that's it. That's our show, everyone. We want to thank you all for listening and supporting this podcast. As you know, this is a passion project for the three of us, and your support means oh so much.
Join us next week as we cover Three's a Crowd, Talon's Autumn 587.
And make sure you follow us on all of our social media or shoot us an email at circleoftheworldpodcast@gmail.com.
And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts from. And please make sure to rate and review us. Thank you all again for listening.
A beautiful, beautiful boy.